So today I'm going to be discussing Anki, the flashcard app, in comparison to Quizlet, kind of pros and cons, and I'm going to show you how to take full decks from Quizlet and port them over to Anki. All right, so here is Anki. I'm in the middle of a deck, but here we go. Here's the decks. Um, Anki is a flashcard app similar to Quizlet. You can create your own flashcards, all that fun stuff. You can style them. But what it does really, really well is it really emphasizes spaced consolidation, repetition. Whereas Quizlet, it doesn't really space out the cards for you quite as well. So here, just to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. If I hit study now, I look at this. I'm like, what is this card? It's a frontal bone. I hit show answer. For me, that was, it's easy. So next time this card is going to show up is in 4 days. If I hit good, 1 day. If I had no idea or wasn't even sure, I would hit again, and then that card will show up again in under a minute or within that minute. This is the second time I've seen this card. If it was the first time, these numbers would be 1 minute, this would be 10 minutes, and this would be 1 day. And the benefit of this is that it really forces, more of a spaced repetition, consolidation. Whereas Quizlet, well, if you don't know what card you hit, I don't know. It'll go through the rest of the deck and then it'll go back to the cards you don't know. And by that time, it's like, 80 cards down. If you have a huge deck, who knows how long. And by the time you get there, you again have no idea because, that was 80 cards ago. You didn't know. You still don't know. Here, it forces you to it'll go through the same amount of cards until you really get them. If you hit a bunch of cards in under a minute, you're going to see that card 8 cards later until you can say, good, I'll see it again. For the first time you hit it, it'll say 10 minutes. And that's incredibly useful, especially for larger decks. I used Anki all the time for MCAT studying. It was like a lifesaver for me. I spent hours and hours and hours. I brought some of my decks had a few thousand flashcards, and Anki was amazing for that. So I highly recommend Anki, particularly for midterm reviews, final exam reviews when you have a large amount of cards in your deck. So the issue with Anki is that it's a little less user friendly. If you look at it, it's kind of more confusing because it's all nice and it looks all nice and pretty. It's pretty user friendly. You know what to do. Anki is what do you do? Right? It's a little clunky, but it's actually amazing once you know what you're doing. So a big issue with Anki is you can't just search up a deck. Let's say your friends made a Quizlet deck. You can search that up, find it, and you can kind of study, and you're like, thanks for making that deck, awesome. However, Anki doesn't have that search function. There is no user sharing in the same way built into the Anki app. So what I want to show you is how you can take these flashcards, your Quizlet flashcards, and move them over to Anki. So the one that I was just showing you on Anki was this very deck that I made for my Kin 170 Human Anatomy class. So what you would do is, here's the Anki app. You would go to Tools. It's going to be very similar in Windows. You'll find the little Tools option in your window here, and you go to Add-ons. Then you hit Get Add-ons. And after that, you're going to be prompted to enter in a code. And this code is going to just be code for an add-on that somebody else has made. So this add-on somebody else has made. I didn't make this add-on. You type in 538 351 043. This code you hit will give you the add-on. So you hit OK. I already did this also. I'm just hitting cancel and exit. Then what you do is you restart Anki, just reopen the app. So hit exit, reopen it up, and now once you hit Tools, you will see Import from Quizlet right here. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit that, and then you're gonna be prompted with Quizlet URL. So what you do is you just take this. If you're doing the one that I just this deck here, I would hit Control C, Command C, Anki. Then I would just copy it in like that. Name it whatever I want. Here you can say I already did it, but let's say Kin 170 Lab Mock Midterm, whatever you want to call it. Hit Import Deck. I already did this, so I'm not going to do it again. It'll take like up to a minute because, you know, there's still like 120 cards here with pictures and stuff, so maybe a minute, but I think it took 20 seconds or something on this computer. Now it's right here. You can just hit it, study now, and there you go. The only thing is that when I did this, it did show backwards. So what it would do is, like for this example, it would say frontal bone, and when I hit show answer, it would then show me the picture, which really is not that useful. So in order to fix that, you just go edit, cards, and then you can hit flip right here. See, it'll change right there from the front to the back will just change, flip. And when you do that, you don't do that for all cards, not for all cards. Just right here, it says 132 cards, which means, you know, you do that for this one card, it'll set the setting for all the cards in this current deck. Not your other decks, just this current deck. So, you know, I did that, all 132 cards in this deck. We'll do the same thing. So, yeah, now it's showing properly, and there you go. I really, really recommend using Anki. It truly was a lifesaver for me. Makes way more sense in terms of long-term consolidation than Quizlet, and this is kind of how you can get the best of both worlds. Thanks for watching.